training partners. Here come your training partners. So smart, so strong, so funny. Let's go with your training partners.
Team, welcome to Training Partners, where two fitness professionals bring you strong takes held loosely. I'm Weezy Shoemaker, and I'm joined by Justin McClintock. And we are not live. We just thought it was important for you to know.
Make it really clear that this is not going out live. We did a bunch of live stuff, and because of the way podcasts work, no one showed up because they didn't exist yet. So It was us just kind of talking to the void.
Yeah.
Which is how most of my live internet goes.
Justin talking to the void.
Yeah.
I had a really hilarious conversation with somebody this morning who listens to the podcast, who is also a fitness professional.
Sure.
And was talking about the concept that we've talked about a few times on the podcast, which is the juggling balls concept.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? Of some balls are glass, some balls are rubber, some balls are bubbles. Figure out which is which and pivot your life accordingly.
Yeah.
And, we recorded that episode like 10 to 12 weeks ago.
For sure.
And it just came out. And she was like, "Oh yeah, you just talked about that on the podcast." And it was such like a moment for me because I haven't talked about that within the last 10 days. But
I get versions of this all the time where someone will like go into like my, DM comments and like say a word or a phrase or something.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I'm sure they're referencing something that maybe I said or we said or something. I'm like, okay. Yeah. And sometimes be like, yeah, that sounds familiar. Okay. Yeah, totally.
Right.
But I don't necessarily remember the context for it or why. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if somebody reaches out with just the word taco shells, like I know what that's from.
Yeah. Yeah. That left a mark.
That left a real impression for some folks.
Yeah. For sure. How
are you, friend? We have not recorded in a bit.
It's been a minute.
It's been a weird month.
It has been a weird month for a bunch of, there's a bunch of stuff going on. Right now, mostly like we are in a serious cold snap of single digit temperatures. Like the people are radically changing their lifestyle and making plans and stocking up on stuff. And it doesn't seem as crazy to stock up on stuff, especially we've been getting a lot of heavy, wet snow. And which New England knows how to do with snow. The problem with the heavy, wet snow is it is just perfect for taking down power lines. So there's been all kinds of like power outages and stuff related to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't been directly affected by that, but it's like shut down businesses and stuff like that.
Yeah. We're supposed to get like maybe 4 or 5 inches this weekend, which like probably that won't affect anything at all. What we're dealing with here that thankfully my children are removed from is that some of the school districts in Ohio are closing because it is too cold for the heat to engage or for buses to turn on.
Oh my goodness.
Like yesterday when I was getting ready and I said, "Alexa, what's the temperature?" And she said 3 degrees, but feels like, and I was like, "Shut the fuck up! Shut up! Get out of here!" Yeah.
Buses can't turn on, and the school, I guess the heating system's getting so cold it's unsafe to turn it back on again. Is that the situation?
Or like it's not warm enough in the building to operate. Like they have like thresholds.
They can't
on. Yeah.
We have a little bit of
the busing is more of the thing.
That's if you can't get the kids there, it becomes a real problem.
Right.
Yeah. We've had a not this, I mean, a much lower degree, but I'm in this big, very old New England house, and we're pretty conservative with HVAC stuff. Like we don't cool it particularly cool in the summer. People think we're weird. We don't heat it particularly warm in the winter. Like generally the thermostat's set to 65 and we're cool. We tried the other day to get it to 68, and it just never quite gets there. Like the heating system is working, and it's like chugging, but then like if it hits 68, it just has to stay on all the time because the heat is going out of all of the glass and probably various not insulated walls. So we just like 65 to 68 is okay. If we can find a place where the heating system isn't on all day, that would be great, and maybe save us some of the very expensive heating bills that we're paying. But
something that we experienced when we went to Connecticut, it would have been like 18 months ago, was noticing all the houses that had like oil drums. That is not something that we have here, and everybody there had one. It's like, man, does it really get like that cold here? And the overwhelming answer was yes.
100%. And there's lots of houses that are oil heat. Like that's not my house, but that's not uncommon. There was a local story, relatively local. I don't remember where it was. I think it was local a couple of weeks ago, where an oil delivery company rolled up to a house, and there's a way to get it in from the outside. Usually, there's like a connection so you can refill the oil tank because you burn it off, and it's usually in the basement or maybe outside, but like it's a giant tank that you have to kind of put somewhere. So you want it out of the way. And they put their hose in and turned it on. And after like 20 minutes, we're like, is this a giant tank or something? And realized they were at the wrong address and had been pouring oil into a house that did not have an oil tank. Like it had an old connector on the outside that was unused and was capped. And they uncapped it and filled this person's house with oil. And it was a disaster. And it was just the wrong address. They just pulled up and went to work, and it was bad news. The visuals were pretty nasty.
I cannot imagine coming home from like my desk job and being like, my basement is oil.
You did what? Why?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
God.
How do I even start? And like the insurance box where it's that little tiny thing, we're like, please describe the accident. You're like, I'm gonna need more room, I think.
Somebody, how did you put that on the insurance form? Oil company, made a real big boo boo. Oh gosh, if somehow you or someone you know is listening to this and you were affected by this catastrophe, I'm not laughing at you. I feel for you, and my goodness, that's going to be a real story for you to tell for the rest of your life.
We should put one of those at the end of every show now. One of those, if you or a loved one were affected by an event covered in this episode of Training Partners, please reach out to one of these numbers for help and support.
Please reach out for support.
We're with you. Da-da.
Right. Oh my gosh. Wow.
It was tough.
I haven't the darndest clue what we're talking about today, and it's not in the spreadsheet, so it could be anything.
I wasn't trying to be like a segue master, but that story actually leads directly into what we're talking about today.
We're talking about flooded basements with oil. Let's go.
We're not talking about that. So I titled this Call a Professional, and this was inspired by actually a story you and I had somewhat similar encounters a couple of days apart from each other. I think we're looking back a few weeks, but you had a significant HVAC need at Sustained, right?
That is true. Yes. Yeah. And the need was that the heat would not engage, and it's cold.
Yeah, it's seriously cold. Heat wasn't coming on. You did the 3 things you know how to do, which is all the things you could do in a heating system that you have access to. I was there and like, all right, I need to call someone. And it was as I recall, like a great experience.
It was an incredible experience. Yes. Do you want me to describe it?
Yeah, please. It's relevant.
Okay. Wonderful. So I already am in a service contract, or was at the time, with an HVAC and plumbing servicing company. So I gave them a call and said, hey, my heat's not engaging. Can you come take a look? And they came out. They charged me for the visit. And he came out. And it was the owner himself who came out and spent, I don't know, maybe 90 minutes up on the roof and came down and said, "Hey, I need to be really honest with you. Um, I don't know that we should have taken your contract in the first place because we don't service a lot of rooftop units, and I don't feel particularly equipped to support you with this. I think it might be this, and I'm probably wrong. However, here is this buddy that I went to school with that he only services commercial rooftop units. And he's a small business owner as well. I can tell that that is important to you. I would love to connect you directly if you'd like that." And then he went out of his way to send me a bunch of pictures and a description of what he was seeing and say, "Hey, give this to him." Sent me his number directly. Didn't say like, "Look this guy up," like sent me how to contact him.
Right.
And then while I was literally on the phone with this other service provider who he recommended, the new guy said, "Oh, hang on, Matt is calling me right now. I bet he wants to fill me in on like your situation. Do you mind if I let you go?" Like, sick, incredible. Yeah. And then also the owner of the business with whom I was in a service contract for said, "I'm really sorry that we took the job in the first place. I know that we came out twice to provide service. I don't feel good having that money. And so I'm refunding your entire contract for the year, which was about $500, and today's service visit. And we're grateful that you use us at home, which we are well equipped to support you with."
Right.
I was so impressed by this experience. And then the guy that he recommended, absolutely top class, came out exactly when he said he was going to, called prior, fix the problem same day, like excellent, wonderful, entered a contract with him. It was so much less painful than it could have been. And the other person that I called that, neighbors recommended and say, "Hey, this is who we use. They suck, but we know that they service us."
Right.
They
But they're
still haven't
around.
even they're around. They still haven't even called me back, and it's been like at least 15 days.
Yeah. Absolutely incredible. So amazing
Yeah.
experience. Not just the thing got fixed and it worked, which is
Right.
really important, especially when
Right.
like you're a commercial business that's open in the winter in Columbus. The heat has to work. Like the heat
Right.
not working essentially closes your doors for you. Is that
Right.
fair to say?
Yeah. I saw clients while it was in the 50s for 2 days, and it
Yeah.
was like, this is not gonna work. Like this needs to be resolved or I'm gonna have to start canceling sessions.
Yeah, and it's cool that people would. And I had somewhat similar experiences at gyms in the past,
Mhm.
and I was always very aware that clients were kind of giving me the grace because
Yeah.
it wasn't something in my control. We were trying as hard as we can to fix it, whatever the
Right.
thing is. But
Right.
it's also not acceptable, and
Right.
I am actively burning through the grace I have built up. It is a
Right.
non-infinite supply.
That's right.
Related, I had, again, we're looking back a couple weeks, was going to bed one night and Rebecca heard some dripping, water dripping. That's weird.
Mhm.
And I hopped up and ran around the house looking for dripping, like the faucets or someone left a fridge open and something was melting. None of
Mhm.
that was happening. Very strange. Finally, I opened the basement door. I was like, "Oh, yep, there's all the water. I found all the water. It's all in the basement." Cool. Ran down and
Cool.
there's water very steadily dripping out of a vertical pipe, which I also thought was weird.
Mhm.
We put a bunch of towels and buckets under it. The next morning, called a plumber who had been out once before and was recommended to us and we liked. Her name is Ann the plumber. Name of the company, name of the person. Ann has a bunch of other plumbers who work for her, but it's Ann. Ann's awesome. You would love Ann. If somehow you get to meet Ann, you will really enjoy the experience. But I called the people and described it. And they said, "Okay, well, we're super busy, but that's not something you want to leave for a couple of days. So we're going to rearrange things and get someone out there as soon as we can. But it has to
Mhm.
be Ann. She's going to want her eyes on this because this sounds weird and complicated." Ann showed up with an apprentice, like moved through the house with speed and vigor, looking at everywhere a problem could be, and like moved me around. And she's like, "Come here. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Take 2 steps back, head up. Look at this. See that? That's what this is. Okay. And she would like take me and move me across the room. Like, great. Now stand here. Okay. Now look at that side of it. You see that thing? Yeah, that's part of the problem. Come with me. And she'd run up the stairs. She's like, look at that. Okay. That's where we need to get into. We think, here's how we're going to test it. And it was great. It was incredibly efficient. Then Anne came to where she thought the problem was, which is behind a wall in a bathroom. She said, awesome. So we need to make a hole in this wall. I'm not allowed to do it because this house is so old, it probably or could have led somewhere. And there's weird lawsuits about that. Can you make a hole in this wall? Yeah, I can make a hole. Great. Make a hole and tell me when it's there.
Great.
And I grabbed some tools, made a hole.
I'll wait.
And it was like, oh, there's a cast iron pipe back there. That is probably it. She came back up, looked in and said, yes, that's the right pipe. We need to get lower. And my bathroom, do you know what wainscoting is?
Yes.
My bathroom has wainscoting up to about wherever wainscoting usually goes, like kind of belt height.
Right.
And it's nice. It's not like super fancy, but it's kind of nice. And she said, we need to get on the other side of that. And I said, I don't know how to take that off without destroying it. And I don't want to destroy it. She said, excellent. Do you have a contractor? No. Excellent. I do. Here's his number. Call him right now. He will answer his phone. The first thing you're going to say is, and the plumber sent me. Then he will keep listening to you. You're going to explain what's going to happen. That's basically what happened. He said, great. I'll be over in the morning. Okay. And went away. He came over in the morning. As he's taking it apart, Anne calls him. They FaceTime together, talking through what the problem is. Is this enough for you to work? Do you need anything else? Okay, I'll take out a few more supports here. I'll do this. I'm going to just like back and forth as the contractor's taking stuff apart. Anne swings back in, replaces the whole thing. Contractor comes back in after her, replaces everything. It's like it never happened. It was amazing. And all of this, like both of our experiences, inspired me to like the call a professional theme. Because for both of these, we had other options, right?
Yeah.
You had a recommendation of someone who may have been cheaper and other people work with and is local. And that's kind of an easier lever to pull, especially when you find out the people you're under contract with don't actually do the kind of work that you need. And they start recommending someone. This could or could not go badly. You could have tried to do some stuff yourself, maybe.
Right.
I certainly, like, it's my house and I have access to it. I have a giant pile of tools and confidence of a guy who looks like this. Like, I absolutely could have made a hole. I absolutely could have started taking pipes apart and shutting water off. Like, I could have done some damage myself.
Well, hang on. Let's interject quick, because guy who looks like this, for anybody who's only ever listened and has
Please
not
subscribe. Yeah.
Justin looks like he could be an extra on This Old House, the show.
That's an incredible compliment.
Continue.
I did not know what you were going to say. I was absolutely braced.
It could have been anything.
Like, here it comes. But I'm relatively handy and okay with stuff like this. I strongly believe I could have done this. It would have taken me at least a week in what took them hours. First of all, to diagnose it and figure out where it was coming from and test it, then get to the bottom of it, then actually get the right stuff. Never mind the like draining of heaters and other things that had to happen that I don't know how to do. And in that time, and this is what kind of brought me to it, like, you could have waited another, whatever we're at, 15 days for this HVAC company to call you back.
Right.
I could have taken 2 weeks to do it myself and saved many thousands of dollars. But all that time would have been lost. Right. And in the meantime, like, I had water running. I didn't know where. Turns out a bunch of it was inside my walls and like starting to affect potentially walls and tile and floor and things like that.
And mold.
You potentially would have had to start canceling sessions, trying to see people elsewhere, who knows what, while also balancing actually getting the thing fixed.
Right.
Both of those are so big and important as to basically be unacceptable, given that you have the option of calling a professional. Does that make sense?
It does.
So I thought we might break down some times when, because you and I often call ourselves professionals because we are. This is the only thing we do. We're well educated. We're well experienced. This is our full-time job. We're solid.
Don't hire me to build a fence. Not equipped.
No. But not everyone needs to work with us. There are people who shouldn't work with us. And there are
That's right.
people, and this is sort of where I was coming in on, who shouldn't start with us. So I thought it might be interesting to go through, like, in like fitness, wellness, nutrition, like when can and maybe should you do it on your own? When can and should you maybe go with the cheap, easy, kind of lower tier option? And when do you need to call in a professional?
Yeah.
Does this sound cool?
The human equivalent of like, okay, well, my thermostat is connected to my Wi-Fi, so let me make sure that I reset my Wi-Fi to ensure that it's adequately communicating, versus nope, everything that should be functioning is functioning and still nothing's happening. What's the human equivalent to that when we're talking about fitness and nutrition?
Yeah, 100%. And I think it also, I think part of it, and we'll talk about this, is like the consequences or the priority or how important it is to you / how important what might happen if you don't deal with it is, right? In both of our cases, we had situations that were going to significantly alter our life if they weren't dealt with fairly expeditiously and very well. Like if either thing didn't actually fix the fix, it could lead to much bigger problems, as opposed to, I mean, I can tell you in this house, I have a long list of things that need doing that aren't currently done. And that's okay. And I will get to them in the next 3 years.
Yeah.
In some different order, we're going to bang things through, and it's okay because it's fine. And I'm going to do a bunch of it myself. So starting like when can you do it on your own, and maybe when should you do it on your own? And of course, all of these are going to have exceptions and counter arguments. But, and I think this is the equivalent of like, some around the house DIY, do it yourself work, maybe like watching a YouTube video. I would include like, if you're using a free app or something, I think that's also doing it on your own. Like, when it's a low priority, that's kind of the number one reason. When it's, maybe you're not even sure it's something you want to do. Do I really want to exercise? Is this a thing I want to change? Do I want to walk more? Do I want to work on my nutrition? Is this a thing? And follow up to that, if it didn't happen, meaning like the goal, the result, the change, that would be okay. This is kind of, I'd like to try this. I'm going to, try some stuff. I am putting in some time, energy, and effort. But if it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world.
That makes sense to me. I think that there's also probably like an understatement of that, the person that might decide to do that needs to at least know enough to know how to like move their body in the first place.
100%.
Like you need like a baseline understanding of knowledge, right? Like somebody who decides, hey, I would like to start eating better and can't define what protein, carb, or fat is, we're probably not starting out on the right foot. We need a baseline of information and understanding.
My next 2 points on this were kind of that. Like, either you've done it before, whatever the thing is, like next time, maybe with a professional coach.
Yeah.
And what you're going to try and do is basically repeat the exact steps you've already gone through. Maybe you're pulling an old program that you did 3 years ago and you liked that program and you know how to do that program. So you're going to do that again, or a nutrition protocol, or, you feel really confident about the details of what needs to happen. And I think that's part of what you were saying, not just like, I want to get my nutrition in order, but like, oh, I'm going to prioritize protein in this like percentage to body weight and aim for this kind of stuff with every meal. And that might be enough. I think that's okay.
Sure.
I think another good reason to do it on your own is if you're not sure you want to stick with it. You're not really sure you want to make this kind of commitment. You're like, and there's the argument goes both ways on this thing.
Yeah.
But the sort of idea of like, well, I'm going to try this for a month. I'm going to join a gym for a month. I'm going to follow this program for a month. I'm going to get this meal delivery service for a month and see if I meet it. Because I've tried stuff before and it hasn't worked. And again, if it doesn't happen, it's not that big a deal to me. So I'm going to try this. And if it feels like something I want to do, then I'll consider kind of upgrading in some way.
What would you say to somebody that's like constantly restarting this though? I think that's like, let me poke some holes in this, even if it's a person who's like, yeah, it's just really not that important to me. And you're able to stick with one thing for like 3 weeks and then you're constantly thing bouncing. I would argue that person does need some external support.
I think that becomes disqualifying from doing it on your own,
Right.
because you keep trying, which tells me that it actually is important to you. This is something like
Right.
you've come back to this a couple of times
Right.
and it isn't working. So it's more important than the do it on your own kind of category is, and you aren't succeeding. We need something different. Positives about doing it on your own, no cost or super, super low cost. You get to make all of the decisions. You're completely in charge if you're the kind of person who likes to do that. And it's an incredibly low barrier to entry. You can start right now. Great, you're done. You started.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the kind of thing you and I joke sometimes about, making business decisions. When you're the sole owner of a small business, you get to make all the decisions. Like, I will sometimes talk to people about, coaches get really hung up on pricing. And I talk to them about it sometimes. They're like, well, when do you change your prices? And there's a real discussion behind that.
When do you want to?
On them. Yeah, now. I just did. Feel up. At time of recording, Feel Strong now costs $4,000 a month. Oh, wait. Nope, I just dropped the price again. It was only up for 4 seconds.
90% off now.
Yeah, yes, that's what I should do. 90% off. January. But doing it on your own, you're completely in charge. You get to make all the decisions for a certain type of kind of driver person. That's important, and that's great. Like, all of that is okay. And when I find people doing it on their own and succeeding, what I don't try and do is talk them out of it. Great, you found it. It's working.
Sick.
Perfect. Awesome. Killer. Whatever the thing is. Are you happy?
Keep going.
Working? Yeah.
High five.
Super high five. If we're not doing it on our own, I think the next kind of tier is what I think of as the lower cost / cheap / easy option. This is sort of the equivalent in that the metaphor we were talking about here of hiring your friend's cousin who's kind of handy to hang your TV or install your air conditioner in the window in the summertime, because that's a little tricky and he knows how to do that. Like, it's something you want, but it's not, structural. It's not something that's incredibly important. If it goes wrong,
right.
I mean, ideally we don't break the TV or drop the air conditioner on someone, but it's kind of fine. We can try again.
Right. And I think it's important to give a little bit of context related, like, directly to what this looked like for fitness and nutrition, right? This might look like, hey, I plugged in my wants into a macro calculator of somebody that I believe knows what they're talking about, and I'm using that to monitor my own macros. Or in the case of fitness, hey, I downloaded a template that's somewhere between $10 and $50 a month. There's no actual direct coaching. Everybody does the same thing. I might have like some minimal access to support. Like maybe I get like a call a year or something like that.
Or Facebook group, kind of ask the community and the community helps thing. Yeah.
Right. But if like I open up the app and programming calls for a hack squat machine and I don't have a hack squat machine and I don't know what the best thing to replicate the stimulus of a hack squat machine would be, there's no one to call.
Yeah.
I just have to like, oh, well, this will be good enough maybe.
Yeah. Searching hack squat sub. And turns out you get 9,000 different answers, as well as 3 guys yelling that you should just suck it up and buy a hack squat.
Right. Somebody actually recommended to me this week, because I had programmed landmine hack squats for them, and they were doing them here at Sustained. And they were like, is there a better way to do this? Like, is there like a machine for this or something? And I said, yeah, it's like $4,000 and it would take up half the space.
So it's the space. Yeah. I mean, it's expensive and money is real, but I'm always thinking about footprint. Like, I would absolutely have a manual treadmill and a leg extension hamstring curl combo, but for floor space.
Right. But for space. Yeah. So then they made a funny joke and they were like, so you're just going to do that next month, just not right now. Right? I was like, yeah, that's right.
Uh-huh.
That's right.
By the way, sustained prices have also gone up to $4,000 a month.
But look at this hack squat machine. Yeah.
So like templates, that kind of group access, maybe higher priced apps. Some of the like there's levels of some of the connected machines that do this. Like it might be like a Tonal or a Peloton with a paid subscription.
Yeah, or
there's
a
bigger initial investment, but then it's just there and you have that ongoing subscription, or maybe you have access to those, especially I have clients who access to some of that stuff in like apartment gyms and things like that.
Yeah.
I think this even stretches up to like working with a newer trainer. You get paired with like whatever trainer gets pulled out of the box at your big box gym. Maybe you get the first 3 sessions free, and then it's $49 a session after that. I'm not saying $49 every time you go to the gym is cheap, but in the world of trainers, that's definitely on the more affordable side.
Right.
And or newer coaches. Like there's lots of, especially in the online world, there's lots of coaches who like just got their NASM cert or are working on some kind of coaching certification, offering kind of astounding deals for, and some of them may well be amazing. I'm just saying that they are definitely on the cheaper end of things. Equipment, I think we talked about that, but like a Tonal, Peloton, a weight vest, I'm going to buy a thing and then use that going forward. I think
like a vibration plate.
Exactly like a vibration plate. I can't wait to tell you about the vibration plate argument I got in sometime. But that would derail us heartedly. I was mean about red light therapy the other day, and like a bunch of people came for me. I had a really good time.
I believe that.
So all of this stuff, this kind of like cheaper, easier, lower tier I think that goes in with like a medium priority. If it didn't happen, you would be sad, but it wouldn't be devastating. See our house metaphor again. Like if the TV doesn't get hung, that stinks, but I'm not devastated. It's okay. I'll find another solution. It's going to be fine. Or it doesn't happen for 5 weeks. Okay, that's weird that it's taken 5 weeks to happen, but that's okay. It's something you want, but it's not. It's definitely not life or death, and it's not something you're willing to put that much time, energy, money, kind of general investment into.
Right.
People who are pretty good for this. If you are an absolute beginner with no what I would call kind of like confounding history, so you're like, I want to exercise or I want to work on nutrition, and you don't have a significant injury history, a significant eating disorder history, an autoimmune disease, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you are totally healthy and doing this for the first time, medium is totally okay.
Yeah.
You can go above medium, but medium will probably work like gangbusters for at least 6 to 12 months.
Right. I'm glad that you said this, because I think that the lowest level is unlikely to be effective for people with absolutely no background.
I agree. I wouldn't put them in the do-it-yourself category because it's not enough. It won't work.
Right.
Or it's less likely to work.
Right.
Yep. Also, people who go here, if you want, I'm going to say it this way, and I feel like it sounds unkind, but I couldn't come up with a better way to say it. If you are happy to prioritize entertainment over results, by which I mean you're going to trade a vibe and a feeling and an experience. You're happy to trade that for marginally better / faster / more effective results because you really want the experience. And this could be like doing group classes, especially doing it with friends, like any kind of thing that has like a social or gamification aspect to it. And some of the paid app, like a Strava, I kind of put in this. Like lots of people who do Strava are very serious about working out. But one of the things that keeps it going is this like competition and gamification, and they're doing it that way. Some of them should maybe be doing some more resistance training and mobility, but they're doing Strava because that part of it appeals to them. Does that make sense?
It totally does. And I feel like I fall somewhat into that camp of, like, we talked about a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if it went live yet or not, but I have been doing Peloton videos, like their strength workouts. And the ability to be like entertained and have my brain shut off for somewhere between 10 and 45 minutes has been truly exceptional. I fully acknowledge I could get better results doing a custom plan, and that's not as important to me right now. I don't have like big meaty stuff I'm trying to work through, and that is what's allowing me to move right now.
Yeah, cool. I think that's a great example and because I do the same thing sometimes. I will, there's programs out there that I love that like, man, it just feels good. And the language they use like lights me up. They're like, we're doing it's Sleeve Buster Saturday. Yeah, this is so stupid. I love it. It's so dumb. But if everything's 100% and I don't have other, meaning like health injury wise,
right,
and I don't have other things I'm really working toward, that's one of the things I will come back to regularly and work on.
Yeah.
Because I know, you know what, I'm going to enjoy this. It's going to keep me entertained. It's easy to focus on enough, and I'm going to have a good time.
Yeah.
And like pretty much every group boutique class falls into this. And all of that's good. Like
it's
none
fine.
of these are cons.
We're not poo-pooing any of this.
Not at all. Huge fans of all that stuff. So pros on this, like the positive aspects of this kind of medium barrier, it's still a relatively low barrier to entry. I mean, of course, any cost prices some people out of it, but lots of people can participate in this kind of medium tier. It tends to be pretty flexible with pretty low commitment, meaning like it's often like not locked in a really stuck schedule. It's only happening like once a week or something. There's like classes around, or the program travels with you, or, you know, the template is super accessible 24 hours a day. There's tons of options to choose from. I mean, we could just go on and on and on about the million different, just even like online programs that exist for under $40 a month that you could get, you know, zapped into your phone with, you know, some kind of general goals built in.
Right.
It's also a great way to like try out new stuff and see if something clicks with you. Like maybe you fucking love kickboxing. You don't know. What if you do kickboxing? You're like, this is what I've been looking for. I'm going to kickbox 5 to 6 days a week for the next 18 months now.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've also found as a coach, it is so beneficial to access programs and plans and classes that other people are putting on to see how people structure their programs and what types of movements that they pair. And yes, like we should also be looking into like legitimate science behind exercise selection. That's just as important. But it can be really inspiring as a fitness professional to be a part of somebody else's either template or class and take notes. Like, oh man, I loved that cue that they used, or this combo slapped and I would not have thought to pair that together, right? It can be really, really valuable. Not necessarily like recommending that coaches program hop, but we all go through seasons of needing something different. Perhaps that something different means seeking out a different plan. If you're in this medium tier and you're a fitness professional, that can help keep you sharp and inspired.
And it can add to your toolbox, and and give you that experience. So when someone comes and says, hey, these are my goals, suddenly you can be like, oh, wait, I have, like, it's not like I have a degree in powerlifting, but I did a powerlifting program for a couple of years and then designed powerlifting programs for a couple of years. I'm good. Like, I can absolutely play in this.
I can help
section,
you.
and I'm not going to be faking it. And exactly what you said, like, I've learned there is no program I've ever done that I haven't like stolen at least one thing from.
Right.
Like, oh, you know, I like this part. And our mutual buddy, Stu Brower, years ago, I remember he was interviewing a CrossFit box owner. So the owner of a CrossFit gym. And the owner of the gym was shit talking Orange Theory and I think like one of the power yoga concepts. I don't remember which one.
Oh, like Core Power.
Like Core Power. It might have been Core Power that they had opened up in the town, and he was really bummed out because they do such terrible work and it's just a joke and they don't know what they're doing. And I remember Stu stopped the conversation. He said, have you gone and taken any classes there? The owner was like, of course not. Yeah, you are really missing out, man. Because why do you think people are going there and not coming here?
Yeah.
And he was guessing. It's like, well, I don't know, because it's just the stupid easiest. Like, you should go check it out. I bet Orange Theory is doing something that you could learn from. I'm not telling you
Yeah.
you have to do their programming. I'm
Yeah.
not telling you need to buy water rowers, but to efficiently move 36 people through a room for 55 minutes, and they all come out saying they had a great time, that's something you can't do here. So even if it's just that kind of operational level, or you go to a core yoga at core power, what is it? Core power, right?
Core
And
power.
I'm not telling you need to buy that like mutant reformer they have, but what's the experience when you walk in, and the lighting and the music and how
Yeah.
they talk to you and how they describe it and how they keep people going and how they
Right.
make holding the same pose for 3 minutes interesting and
Right.
feel like high intensity fitness, which it
Right.
isn't, but it feels like it. And that's a cool trick. I bet you
Right.
could learn something and maybe make your warm-ups something awesome that people look for. Huh?
Right.
Like, there's always something you can take as a coach from pretty much everyone who's doing something out there. Um,
I I feel like I come from a slightly different background than you on this in particular because of my background in boutique fitness.
oh yeah,
Like
the Razone.
under the lights, on the mic, like as much entertainer as it was
Yeah.
instructor. And it's been now I stopped doing that in 2021. And I still get people reaching out to me from that who went to that studio and saying like, "Hey, would you ever think about going back?"
Yeah.
And I don't say that to say like such a good coach, but like
Yeah.
I understood how to make the room feel a certain way and how to shift
Yeah.
the vibe so that somebody would want to come back. Even if like, "Hey, I'm telling you that we're about to row at a 30 stroke per minute
Yep.
rate, which is flying, and you are ready to like die for 4 straight minutes." And people are like cheering at the end.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's art.
It is.
And I would get this from some people who knew me when I was in a CrossFit background prior to that, and even after that, when they found out, like, "Oh, she was like a row coach, like under the lights. That's lame." Like, yeah, I wish you would have come in. It's actually hard as fuck.
Yeah. It's hard.
You
And that
could learn something about room management.
exactly. Like, managing that kind of a group and managing the vibe and managing the
Yeah.
energy and watching when, like, you can see the problem approaching before anyone else even feels it.
Right.
Like, oh, there's an issue right there. And I'm going to deal with it in one of like these 3 or 4 different ways I know how to deal
Right.
with it to make sure everyone else can keep moving, or else this thing could completely fall apart. Yeah, that's
Right.
it's entertaining. I vibe with that. I've never done that kind of boutique fitness, but I've done a hell of a lot of showbiz, and it's very similar.
Right.
Of like, from the moment someone walks in the room, I used to get in arguments with a former gym owner about this because I didn't like the way things were arranged. I was like, the moment someone opens that door, you are feeding them information. The experience has
Yeah.
already begun. I'm not saying that it has to be like, strobe lights and bass, but you are making an impression and you're deciding what that impression is going to be. And if that
Right.
impression is, oh, coaches leave their half-eaten lunch out on an unmanned front desk, that's your brand, man.
Right. That's
That's it.
that's
Yeah.
that's atrocious. That's terrible.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. Sort of cons, lesser good things about this medium tier. Low commitment often results in low commitment, right?
Yeah.
If it's really easy to get in, it's often not enough buy-in to do it or to stick with it.
Right.
There's very, very high drop-off, combined with most of these business models, certainly anything live, relies on you not sticking with it. Right?
Right.
I think Planet Fitness, like, I think they're required to have 500 pre-sales before they open, and you could not put 500 people in a Planet Fitness comfortably. I don't even know if you could
Right.
cycle 500 people a day through a Planet Fitness
Yeah.
comfortably. They're planning on a giant chunk of people not sticking with it for very long, and then
Right.
you're on the hook.
Right.
Similarly, like, kind of short challenges and timelines. We've talked about challenges a couple times lately, but they are typically they're typically short. A lot of people finish challenges because, as we said, challenges aren't that hard to do, and then drop off immediately afterward. And I know from talking to coaches, I don't run challenges, but I know lots of coaches who have, they use it often as kind of an onboarding funnel with frequently expecting 90+% drop off from the
Yep.
challenge to the next step of coaching. They
Totally.
know for sure a giant chunk of people are not going to keep going with it for any number of reasons. Maybe the challenge isn't that good. Maybe the coach didn't want to, but the plan is that a bunch of people are going to drop off. And then and I want to be gentle about this, but newer / less experienced coaches often just don't have the reps to solve bigger, more complicated issues, and or are saddled with a lot of imposter syndrome and kind of aren't able to get out of their own way yet in a way that you may need to be really helpful.
Right. And in the least kind of like pick on people type of way, something that really comes to mind is the person that's doing coaching as a side hustle.
Yeah. 3 hours a week
or
on top
like
of their full-time
or
job or
like
something.
as a fun passion, right?
Yeah.
Like they work at a desk job 40 hours a week, but then they coach the 6 a.m. 3 days a week, right? Like, because it's not their thing, it's not their area of expertise, they're going to be unlikely to support problems that require expertise.
Exactly. And they don't know it yet, which is
They don't
also
know it yet.
tricky, right? They
Right.
just got their nutrition certification. They had a life-changing fitness experience. So they said, well, I'm going to be a nutrition coach. And they work full-time at the, the city hall office, but they've, got an Instagram handle and started calling themselves a coach. And it's pretty easy to sign up with them. And that's cool. Like that is exactly the medium tier people we talked about.
Right.
Maybe that might be the best place for them, at least for a
Right.
while.
Right.
But more advanced, more complicated people with bigger needs, it's not going to work. And that sucks, but it's the truth. So now we're at the calling a professional level. And this is back to our building metaphor. This is a plumbing issue. This is major electrical. This is something structural. These are big, stinking problems that if they don't get fixed the right way, it could be a real issue.
Yeah. One particular client comes to mind that I'm going to try to obfuscate a little bit. It's a new client to me who has POTS and heads, which is like has a lot of trouble with quick changes of movement. Can get really lightheaded, has to be really mindful of salt intake, and then heads, which is hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, a disorder of the connective tissue. In chronic pain kind of all of the time with a very limited amount of endurance, to the point that like standing for a full shower has become difficult.
Oof.
And they knew that they needed to get stronger and were terrified to go anywhere because of persistent injuries.
Yeah.
Right. I know that I need to do this, and I haven't found a person that I believe can actually help me without making it worse.
Yeah. That's exactly like one of the people that I think is ideal for this call on a professional. And to be clear, yes, calling a professional does include hiring someone like Weezy or myself. It probably means working one-on-one with at least one person who only does this. This is their specialty. And it may well mean working with an expanded healthcare team, depending on what's going on.
Right. This particular new client to me also hired our mutual friend Stormy at Show Your Work Nutrition.
Yeah.
They asked me if I could support their nutrition journey as well, because they want to add more salt into their diet, and they have some other confounding stuff that they don't feel ethical about, or not ethical, but they don't feel like it's a good idea to manage that on their own. And I flat out said, I am not equipped to support you with that, but let me connect you with somebody who is, and we will work together to your mutual benefit.
Almost exactly like what your HVAC guy did.
Right.
Hey, it turns out this part of your case isn't the right thing for me. We're going to give it to someone who's better at it, and keep your money, give it to them.
Right.
Because that's how this should go. Yeah,
Right.
exactly right. So, like, people who should do this, or maybe like, why would you call on a professional and not do like a tier 1 or tier 2 thing? And number one is if it's really, really important.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if this doesn't work, you'll be really sad. Potential degradation of quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even we're even trying to avoid further health consequences, whatever those
Mm-hmm.
may be. And that
Yep.
maybe your doctor gave you a come to Jesus talk about lowering your cholesterol. Maybe it is, dealing with scoliosis. It could be any number of things.
Yep.
Another group who falls here is other stuff didn't work. Like,
Yeah.
you tried the do it on your own. You tried the cheap, easier, lower tier stuff, and it was okay, but it's not enough, or it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
working well enough, and you
Mm-hmm.
want more.
Yep.
And some of the cons that we talked about with the other ones, like people who want a ton of accountability, they know they want people who have a ton of experience. This isn't often something people lead with, but they find the value in having people who have a broad and connected network. So
Yeah.
when you say, oh, I've got this issue that came up,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I have the answer, but I can almost definitely say, oh, I'm going to reach out to 3 people I know who are really good at this. I should know
Yeah.
the answer by tomorrow. And
Right.
being able to do that and mean it. And I'm not just going to go like ask a language robot. I'm actually going to go ask a physical therapist.
Right.
Um, Other 2 groups that I had, and I'm open to more nuance from you on this, is if the issue is really multifaceted and complex, you've got a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of stuff going on, and you
Mm-hmm.
need someone who can understand all of that and kind of prioritize it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you want to get stronger and you want to lose weight, but you're using a GLP-1, your left knee hurts all the time, and your doctor told you running was definitely bad for your knees. Okay, cool. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not scared. I don't think you're scared, Weezy. That's
No.
the kind of thing that a lot of trainers would hear and say, okay, cool. We're going to do upper body and abs. And
Right.
that's what we're going to
Or
do.
like, have you tried biking? You
Have you
like
considered
biking, right?
swimming? You should definitely swim more.
Yeah. You don't need to
Um,
run.
the other group of people who end up here are people whose uh, consider their time so valuable that they don't want to be second guessing or filling in the blanks. They
Yeah.
want to know for sure it's done right the first time.
Yeah.
And so they're very happy to seek out a professional to do it once, because what they don't want to be is in the same place in 6 months, frustrated that they tried
Right.
a lower tier, cheaper, or free option.
Right. Yeah. This I think is the person that maybe they don't have like the big meaty stuff going
Yep.
on, but they don't want to have to spend any extra time or mental energy thinking about it at all. I have a couple of clients who fall into this camp,
Yeah, me too.
and they don't really fall into the niches that I talk about on social media. And so a
Yep.
couple of them have said like, hey, I've heard you talk about the podcast about like wanting to graduate some clients. Am I in that camp? Like, do you want to
Are you going to
like,
fire me?
no, I'm not going to fire you.
Yeah.
So like, I know that we're not working on big meaty stuff, but I'm still enjoying working with you.
Yeah.
And I know this is valuable enough to you that without me right here telling you exactly what is going to happen over the
Yeah.
next 3 weeks when you're going to be in 6 different cities and time zones with or without a partner for part of that. I know that you don't have the bandwidth to manage this on your own, and you're happy to pay me for it, and I feel inspired
Yep.
by that. So, no, I'm not talking about you.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I have the same thing where it's not the people I talk to most on social media, but I have one, internationally renowned BJJ competitor, and I have
Yeah.
one international Olympic weightlifter, and I have like, and this isn't all the people who fall in this category, but like I have like the doctors and lawyers and international corporate consultants who I work with. They
Yeah.
are in that. I just want to know it's right the first time. My time
Right.
is so valuable. I can't spend it here. And I want to make sure that we make clear that this isn't just rich people doing rich people stuff. I'm like
Yeah.
this, and I don't consider myself rich. The thing I hate most in the world, like the way to enrage me, is to waste my time. And I will
Mm,
very happily find ways to move money around to make sure that the thing is happening right the first time. if my time is being wasted, my fuse gets so short. And I'm like, well, and I'm not in a rage way, but just in a, well, this is dumb. I'm
Right.
wasting time here, and time is too valuable, and I'm just going to leave and do something else. I
Right.
hate it.
I have a segue that you're happy to cut out if you want to.
Do it.
I imagine that this is particularly resonant for you right now.
100%. Yeah. You and I have been talking. I am in the process of hiring a coach for myself again, and it is definitely going to be an active life professional or someone who has a lot of experience with active life professionals,
Yeah.
because I know that's the kind of background I want, and I'm not doing a good enough job for myself, for my own injury, because I'm too close to it. And that's
Yeah.
always the case. Like, we've talked about this, like when things get too hard or too complicated or too painful and or too emotionally charged,
Yeah.
coaches are too close to their own stuff to actually be effective, because
Right.
you can't be objective, and people tend to flip-flop and take half measures and program hop like in the middle of sessions and do all kinds of crazy stuff because they're just trying to get it done, and
Right.
they just don't have enough distance. So
Right.
I'm in the process of doing that right now for exactly that reason. Like,
Yeah.
I know there's lots of programs out there, including like stuff written by physical therapists and stuff, who would happily tell me their shoulder rehab program. But I know enough and have been dealing with this for a long enough time that this is complicated. This is
Yeah.
complicated and weird, and it's going to take something very specific to get it moving in the right direction.
Right.
And so I
Well,
want the right person behind it.
and you need somebody who knows as much or more than you do,
Yeah.
who also understands how to communicate with somebody like you, and who doesn't live in your body.
Exactly right. Very well said. Yep. That's it. So what are the downsides of hiring a professional? It tends
Well,
to
it
be
can be
pretty expensive.
expensive.
Yeah. It compared to the other two tiers, it is just flat out expensive.
Yeah.
And this could be working, one-on-one with the trainer. This could be online programming. This could be a bunch of versions, but it is more expensive than the other two. They tend to have limited availability. These tend not to be programs that have infinite numbers. They're not dealing with 10,000 members at a time. A lot of times it's like 40. And you might end up on a waiting list. And you might, like, you find the program and you find, like, this is the person I've been following them. It's
This is
totally my
it.
vibe. Okay, I'm going to message them and tell them I'm ready to start. And they say, awesome, I have an opening April 14th. You say,
Would you like it?
oh, yeah. And if you don't take
I'm
it
ready
now, it might
now.
disappear by the end of the afternoon. So get in line.
Right.
Depending on how you feel about this, they often come with a lot of accountability. So, and sometimes that will mean receiving messages saying, hey, the fuck you didn't do your workout. We talked about this. What's going on? It's been 2 days.
Right.
You promised you would give me feedback and you're not giving me feedback. What's going on? Like, it is a big commitment, and this may be a disqualifier for people. You probably won't just get your likes and wants. You're also going to get your needs.
You are
might have
also
to do
going to
stuff.
get Brussels sprouts.
You are going to get Brussels sprouts. And that might mean doing mobility or breath work or that one exercise that you hate so much that you never do it. There's probably a reason you hate it and never do it. It might be just the thing you need.
Or conversely, a coach might say, hey, we need to take like 2 extra rest days a week.
Totally. Yep. I had one of
And
those
you might
recently.
be like, I want to train 6 days a week to failure. And be like, cool, how's that working for you? Your body feels like shit.
Right. Oh, it worked 6 years ago? Cool. That's a great story. How's it work for the last 12 months?
Right.
Right. We are going to take another day off. That's what we're doing. The pros of hiring a professional, maybe they're obvious, but I think it's worth stating. It tends to be incredibly effective. It tends to be incredibly efficient. You will get results faster because of the knowledge base and effectiveness, etc. They tend to have more effective tools, a deeper and broader toolbox. So it's not just, if the only tool you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Like, you want someone who knows how to operate a screwdriver and a hammer drill and all kinds of other cool stuff. You tend to get more specific work, individualized to kind of hyper custom built just for you. there's a greater likelihood of it being very safe. Most programs are perfectly safe. I would never say that any of the other ones are, inherently dangerous, but especially if you have stuff going on that is particular, a professional will be more equipped to build something that's really safe for you and importantly feels safe, like on a nervous system level. And they have great referrals on both directions, so they can send you to the right person if that's what needs to happen. And it's all they do. So if this is all they do, this is the thing that has their full attention.
Right.
They are not worried about, their caseload at the office, and they do 45 minutes of coaching at the end of every night.
Right. Correct. This is the thing. And they're also more likely at that point, I'm not going to say like guaranteed, but more likely to be investing into their craft.
Yes, I didn't say that, but that's a really good point. That they are very likely, and they should be, pursuing continuing education on a pretty regular level on a variety of things like coaching, exercise, nutrition, business, marketing, all of the things.
Behavior change, sleep, etc.
Yeah. How to be good at the stuff. The only kind of tag I had at the end of this is if you think you might need a professional, you should call them. In the same way that you called your HVAC professional and I called the plumbing professional, if we had vacillated for a long time, it may have become an emergency. And once it's an emergency, you're definitely going to start calling professionals, but they might not be the people you want. Now you might be calling
and you might
your
have to
surgeon.
settle. Right.
Yeah. You might, exactly. You might be calling your surgeon or something else, which I'm not anti-surgery, but if you had started something a year earlier, we could have avoided all of that. So now you're going to have to deal with whatever potential limitations, et cetera. Certainly a bunch of time off comes with this. And you don't really have a choice anymore. And those professionals are almost always more expensive than us.
Right. Yes. I love it.
That's kind of what I got. That was inspired by the HVAC plumbing thing, but I thought it was useful to go through and also make it clear that we're not anti-free stuff. We're not anti lower tier beginner stuff. There's lots of people who should be in those places. And you and I also voluntarily, happily spend time in both of those places.
Right. And I think also too, it's really worth mentioning that deciding to work with a professional doesn't mean that you do that all the time forever. Right.
That's a great point.
It because a professional is unlikely to just give you hey, do this list of behaviors or exercises. Right.
Yep.
A professional is going to help you understand why those things are important and how to apply them to whatever you might encounter later, so that when your time together is over, great, I can maybe go back to tier 1 or tier 2 and apply everything that I've learned. And I'm now much more effective at doing that because I have this knowledge.
Yeah. I often tell people I want to be the last coach they ever hire, and I do not want to work with them forever.
Love
you
that.
leave and you are independent and autonomous and know more than everyone else.
Yeah. I like that. That's a good soundbite.
Oh,
although I did just refer a graduating client to another coach who I believe is genuinely better equipped to handle something that cropped up.
Yeah.
Which I think is fair also.
That's what you should do.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the time.
Yeah. Should we do a segment?
Yeah, let's do it.
Did you see my Instagram story?
So full disclosure, I saw the first 6 seconds of it. So what happened is,
okay, good.
This is scintillating podcasting. I'm going to tell the story about how I saw your Instagram story. But I sat down to do some work, and I'd been out for a walk and happened to come down, sit down, popped it open, and you said something like, I don't think he's going to watch this because we start recording in about 20 minutes, but we're doing segments today. And I turned my phone off because I thought we were recording 2.5 hours from then. And I sent you a message saying, hey, my calendar's kind of funny. When are we recording? You said, in about 10 minutes. I said, I'm so glad I asked. So I know you made a story. I think you talked about a segment, and that's all I know.
I did. Wonderful. Yeah. Great. Well, that is scintillating. That's hard-hitting journalism.
Scheduling talk. This is like people talking about Los Angeles traffic and comedy podcasts. Oh, right. Yeah. I want to hear more about the 405. Great.
Right. So today I'm going to be reading you a number of quotes, and you are going to tell me if they are from the Bible or from a Monty Python movie.
Ooh. Okay.
And we also have The Life of Brian as a contributing player here.
Sure. Which there's a lot of overlap. Life of Brian.
There's a lot of overlap. So, my breath is offensive to my wife, and I am loathsome to my own brothers.
My breath is. I think that's the Bible.
You're correct. That is the Bible.
Are you gonna tell me where in the Bible? I mean, I'm not gonna go look it up.
That is from really Job 19:17.
Oh, okay. Poor Job. Yeah.
Poor Job. Then he said to me, "See, I will give you cow's dung in place of human dung, over which you will prepare your bread."
I mean, that is funny, but I still think it's the Bible.
You're correct. That's Ezekiel 4:15.
Ugh. Goodness gracious. I guess, yeah. Poor Ezekiel.
Poor Ezekiel. Romans go home.
That's Monty Python.
That you're correct.
Yes. Life of Brian.
I think this one is an absolute giveaway. And I might do nothing. Now you see the violence inherent in the system.
That is also Monty Python.
Help, I'm being repressed.
Yes. I mean, there's violence inherent in the system. Kings are a real problem. I'm just saying.
Right. Whoever blesses his neighbor with a loud voice, rising early in the morning, will be counted as cursing.
Oh, you're not allowed to wake people up early? That sounds like the Bible.
That is the Bible. Proverbs 27:14.
Proverbs?
You may not, you may not bless your neighbor with a loud voice early in the morning. That is offensive.
That's just like HOA stuff. Like,
absolutely
we have
offensive.
a noise ordinance before 9 a.m.
Proverbs.
Be cooler, Proverbs.
First, shalt thou take out the holy pin. Then shalt thou count to 3. No more, no less. 3 shall be the number. I have to finish it. 3 shall be the number thou shalt count, and the number of the counting shall be 3. 4 shalt thou not count, neither count thou 2, excepting that thou then proceed to 3. 5 is right out. Once the number 3, being the third number, be reached, then lobest thou thy holy hand grenade of Antioch towards thy foe, who, being naughty in my sight, shall snuff it.
That's Monty Python. And the Holy Grail.
Oh my God. Jehovah.
Monty Python.
That's correct. Life of Brian. I wish that those who are troubling you would mutilate themselves.
Ooh, tricky. I think that's the Bible.
You're correct. That is Galatians 5:12.
Oh.
I am.
Okay.
I am sick of love.
I am sick of love. I have a Monty Python scene in mind, but it could be the Bible. I'm going to say Monty Python.
You're wrong. That's the first one. That's Song of Songs.
I was thinking of that prince in the tower and the Holy Grail who's wafting around.
How beautiful you are, my darling. How beautiful you are. Your eyes are like doves behind your veil. Your hair is a flock of goats that have descended from Mount Gilead.
This is tough. That's actually tough. That could be a weird Song of Songs, but I'm going to say Monty Python.
You are wrong. It is a weird Song of Songs.
Your
eyes are like doves.
I was like,
flock of
goats? That sounds like something dumb that Eric Idle would write.
Yes. It continues to say, your teeth are like a flock of newly shorn ewes, which have come up from their washing, all of which bear twins, and not one among them has lost her young.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. We were led by a star.
Oh, well, both. I'll say Monty Python.
It is Monty Python. Life of Brian.
Yes. That might also appear like in one of the Gospels.
Then he went up from there to Bethel, and as he was going up by the way, young lads came out from the city and mocked him, and said to him, "Go up, you bald head! Go up, you bald head!" And when he looked behind him and saw them, he cursed them in the name of the Lord. And 2 female bears came out of the woods and tore up the 42 lads of their number.
That's the Bible.
That is the Bible. That is 2 Kings 2:23 through 24.
Yeah.
Go up, you bald head.
And then 2 bears killed 42 children.
2 she-bears.
Yes.
2 she-bears came out and ate 42 children who were mean to this weird baldy. Weird. And spotteth twice they the camels before the 3rd hour. And so the Midianites went forth to Ram Gilead in Kadesh Bilgamoth by Shore Ethra Regalion to the house of Gashbil Bethael Bazda, he who brought the butter dish to Belshazzar, and the tent peg to the house of Rashomon, and there they slew they the goats, and placed they the bits in little pots.
Oh, the end threw me off. I was so sure it was the Bible until they put the bits in little pots. I'm going to stick with the Bible.
But listen, goats in Kings. You are incorrect. It is Monty Python, The Meaning of Life.
Oh, sure. Yep.
Oh, sure. Oh, that you would be completely silent and that it would become your wisdom.
Man, I came into this overconfident. The Bible.
Mm-hmm. That is the Bible. That's Job 13:5.
Mm-hmm.
Last one. If you don't get this one, you're fired. Listen. Strange women lying in ponds, distributing swords is no basis for a system of
government.
Supreme executive power derived from a mandate from the masses, not from some farcical aquatic ceremony.
That is, in fact, Monty Python.
That is. Help, help! Come see the violence inherent in the system!
Mm-hmm. You're like, it's funny, but also, yes.
It's funny.
Yeah. Uh-huh. That was excellent. Well done.
Thank you. I'm very proud of it. I've had that planned for weeks.
Really? That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Well done. I loved it. Now I want to watch more Monty Python.
Yeah. Yes. I remember it was a while ago now that I was doing a real series of like using Monty Python to prepare for my fitness. Like,
do tell.
How would I I remember like a reel that was how I would train if I was preparing to climb through the muck to navigate the violence inherent in the system. And it was like weighted bear crawls. Or how I would prepare to help King Arthur get around was double unders to time the...
That's pretty good.
Thank you. So it was a brief series. Maybe I will resurrect it. It was fun.
Yeah. I love it.
Fun nonsense. Good time.
Did you ever watch any of the TV show?
I have seen some of it.
Yeah.
My dad was a big fan, and that is something that he passed on. I remember being like obsessed with the Ministry of Silly Walks at the time.
Yeah, there's some great ones. And like any long-running show, like there's hits and misses. There's some genius stuff in there. Mm-hmm. But one of the crazy things, I don't know if anyone had ever done it before, is that every episode is entirely stream of consciousness. Like there's no like cut, okay, to the next thing. Every piece always causes the next thing or something happens. Sure. Or at the very least, an animated foot comes in and squishes the guy at the end.
Right.
And it cuts to the animation of the thing. And then the giant looks into a house, and inside that house, the next sketch is happening kind of thing. Like it's all connected.
Right. And sometimes it's connected by the Spanish Inquisition.
Exactly. No one expects it.
No one. Nobody. Mm-hmm. People should. This has been delightful.
I had a great time. We should do it again.
Good news. We will do it again.
Good news. Certain commitments have been made. I just found out you have firing power, so you let me know. I'm just going to go where I'm told.
Yes, I'm looking forward to. I just need to secure a box that is large enough, but I have some things to send you so that we can do an all about protein episode.
All right. Yep,
including,
I agree to this.
You did agree to it. It's just been in a bag in my pantry, and I'm still
just ripening.
Probably just waiting. None of it's. I mean, all of it is like protein slop, so nothing's going bad. But that is coming in the future. Maybe now that I've said it out loud, I will manifest a large box.
Manifest a box? You're just hoping to run into a box? Like, you're a resourceful person. I know you know how to find boxes.
Well, I know, but yeah, it needs to. I don't want it to cost like $120 to ship.
Yeah, for sure.
But it needs to be large enough to fit everything that I want to send you. That we're going to make you try.
Yep, there it is. At least it's not shipping dumbbells, right?
That's right. It's not shipping dumbbells. The heaviest thing is a couple of cans of protein soda.
Cool. It's gonna be a whole thing.
Team, this has been Training Partners. I'm Weezy Shoemaker. That's Justin McClintock. We'll see you next time.
Later, gang.
Here come your training partners, so smart, so strong, so funny. Let's go with your training partners. We're ready to shine.